With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below. You know, going to VidCon last year was one of my favorite experiences of the year. That and the birth of my daughter were just my two favorite moments of the year. And VidCon is something I am anxious to get back to because I love spending 5 days with my fellow YouTube content creators and people that I'd never met before, people that I've been watching for years, all of us getting together, all of us having fun, all of us getting drunk, really drunk, many nights in a row. Great time. But the biggest problem at VidCon was VidCon itself. In fact, the situation involving Anita Sarkeesian attacking Sargon of Akkad from the stage, the lack of reaction and the ultimate apologetics from the owners of VidCon, that would be the Vlog brothers, Jake and Hank, or John and Hank Green, and the fact that it was discovered that Anita Sarkeesian's merchandise store is run through their business. So they have a financial tie to one another. Makes sense as to why they defended her. So when I come across this story here, Viacom looking to purchase VidCon, oh yeah, I'm actually all for this. They'll run it into the ground and they'll destroy it, which basically just means that the retreat that we're going to be going on again this year, it just becomes an annual thing. But I mean, the idea of VidCon's a lot of fun to go meet other people, but get the Hank people out, get the Greens. There we go. That's their name. Get the Greens out, okay? Because no. Take the money and run. Okay. All right. Like John has got his books. He's made a lot of money. What has Hank done? Really? What has Hank done? Nothing. Take the money and run. Anyway, Viacom is close to acquiring VidCon. Variety has learned from a number of individuals with knowledge of the transaction. VidCon is a popular online video conference annually held in Southern California since 2010. VidCon will be an independent division of Viacom and will keep its offices. Its leadership team will remain intact. Well, I mean, its leadership team may not be the Greens, but that being said, Viacom may be a bit more susceptible to dealing with panelists who speak down to the guests. Oh yeah, Anita Sarkeesian, I'm looking at you, right? I'm looking at you. I have a feeling that it could happen. Now, VidCon likely fits in the Viacom's efforts to connect with the youth audiences, who gravitate more and more to digital platforms than the linear cable channels that are the conglomerate's core assets. Just last month, Viacom also acquired Who Say, an influencer marketing firm that specializes in targeting young audiences online with branded content. And trust me, I get emails from like sponsors in this regard quite frequently, and a lot of them aren't really in line with what I do, so I don't, work out deals with them. But yeah, you can see what's going on here. Branded content is a big thing, especially when it comes to influencers. And influencers that aren't like your top tier upper echelon version of influencers will pretty much do it for like dirt cheap. So they want to get in on the ground floor with these people. So having VidCon is actually a pretty solid way to approach a situation from a business perspective. Now, Viacom CEO Bob Bakish has been aggressive about remaking Viacom as a company looks to getting back on its feet. He's also begun to engage CBS Corp in a potential merger at the behest of National Amusements, which owns controlling interests in both conglomerates. So putting CBS and Viacom together probably be for the best, to be fair. Often compared to Comic-Con, I'm sorry, I've gone to Comic-Con 18 times since 2000. That's every year since 2000. VidCon, while fun, not Comic-Con. Not Comic-Con. That is, who wrote this article? You suck. VidCon is a mix of young YouTuber fans who get the chance to mingle with their favorite stars, most of whom are barely older than them. That's actually a fallacy. No, I'm not even really making that up. The way that VidCon operates, at least they did in 2017, was they sold you 3 tiers of badges. You had your standard badge, which I don't know what the hell it's called. You got your creator badge and your industry badge. Now, the creator badge allows you to go upstairs to the mid-level, which is where all the creators are supposed to be hanging out and hobnobbing there amongst each other. What we discovered this year is that what you had were parents paying the $200 for their children to go and get creator badges just so they could possibly go to the second floor and maybe run into one of their favorite creators. But if they wanted to, let's say, meet Logan Paul or Jake Paul or any other pendejo part of Team 10, those idiots are all up on the industry level and are told, and I mean this, they are told to not walk around the floor. They are told to not go and wander around. And the reason for this, well, as actually best exemplified by Logan Paul himself, is that they would then cause a stir because these girls act like these YouTubers are literally the Beatles, and they chase them running and screaming into a fountain. This is we were all sitting out there last year when this whole thing went down. So yeah, it's not like they get the chance to really meet these people. They're actually, like, VidCon prohibits them from going on the floor. One of the only ones that did was Boogie, and Boogie, being 4 million subscribers, has a large fan base, and he'll talk with you, but no one's going to be chasing him down like Logan Paul, and even he'll be the first to admit that. Same with, I'm just saying, there's this article is really trying to church it up a bit. I mean, it's variety, but come on, man, reality here. Anyway, while YouTube typically has a dormant presence at the event, other digital giants who court the influencer crowd have become more active in recent years, including Facebook, Instagram, and Musical.ly. Yes, Musical.ly, an app where you basically sing carpool karaoke and get famous. It is one of those things that I look at and I'm all like, why? VidCon has also become an increasingly popular destination for media companies looking to promote upcoming movies and TV shows to the Generation Z crowd, who tend to favor digital stars. Viacom has become a past participant with Nickelodeon, among other brands, with a sizable presence on the show floor. NBC Universal, Scripps, and Fox have also made their presence known at the Anaheim-based event. I didn't see really any of that. The only booth I remember from VidCon, there's 2 booths. One of them was like this white, it was like a clear walled room, like see-through walls, and people could write messages on there. And Dave Cullen got up there and wrote "Free Kekistan," up there and whatnot. And then also Taco Bell had a booth, and they were giving out like some sugary drinks and stuff. That was about it. Oh no, there was like a little bar for parents too. That part I understood. But no, there's Fox, Paramount. I don't remember them having spaces there. The floor sucked. That's why people ask me, like YouTubers, and ask me, oh, should I go to VidCon? Should I go to VidCon? I'm like, yeah, fly on out, hang out with us for a week. Should I get passes to go to VidCon? I'm all like, no, unless you're going to spend the money for the creator or the industry pass to go up and learn everything about YouTube, the educational side of it. Don't even bother. Just don't even bother. This year's VidCon is scheduled to begin June 20th. International editions of the event are also in operation, a nod to the robust overseas marketplace for digital influencers. The 2017 flagship attracted more than 30,000 attendees, which is true. There's a lot of people that were there. And here's the thing. If I had a lot of fun at VidCon, and I'd like to travel to other VidCons as well, to go to other parts of the country or even the world. So if they announce like VidCon New York, I would go to that because there's a lot of East Coast YouTubers that I'd like to meet that probably won't be able to make it out to Anaheim, who would be able to make it to New York. Or VidCon London. I think there's VidCon Sydney or something, like, Bering and Sugar Tits live down there, as well as a bunch of other Australian YouTubers I'd like to meet. So for me, VidCon ultimately boils down to kind of like a location and ultimately an excuse to go out and meet people that I know. And also engage with fans, because I actually have a fair amount of fans in Australia, so surprisingly there. But at the same time, Viacom purchasing VidCon is only being done for a marketing tactic in order to reach out to these people. Even though the leadership would stay intact and they would try to think that this is going to be the best way to maintain that level of success or that growth or whatever, it's going to go corporate. And as we've learned, pretty much everything that goes corporate ultimately dies, because corporate will strangle the life out of it. So if VidCon sells to Viacom, then that would be basically the death nail in VidCon's coffin. So ultimately enjoy it while you can, and stay tuned to some point in time in the future when a lot of us who want to do our own thing end up holding our own conference that's just for basically hanging out with fans and people, and that's it. But hopefully that will be happening sometime soon.